In a small town, where whispers of the past danced through the air, there lived a man named Simon. He was an unremarkable fellow, blending into the background like an old painting, gathering dust in a forgotten attic. With his tousled hair and round glasses perched on his nose, he spent his days working in a dusty library surrounded by the scent of ancient paper and stories waiting to be told. But beneath his mundane exterior lay a heart filled with dreams of adventure, though they never dared to breach the surface. One rainy afternoon, as Simon was shelving books, a peculiar volume caught his eye, a dusty tome adorned with an intricate cover of silver and emerald. It seemed to pulse with an energy of its own, as if beckoning him closer. Its title, Chronicles of the Lost Realm, whispered promises of magic and mystery. Curiosity ignited a flame within him. He plucked the book from the shelf, its weight heavy with expectation. As he flipped through its yellowed pages, the words leapt off the paper. They spoke of realms hidden beyond the mundane world, of heroes and legends long forgotten. Simon was entranced, and in that moment, he could almost feel the whisper of wind upon his face, see the glint of steel in a brave warrior's eyes, and hear the echo of laughter from merry banquets in distant lands. But as the sunlight faded from the library's windows, casting eerie shadows, the air shifted, thickening with tension. Suddenly a chill crept down his spine, and he sensed he was not alone. A figure emerged from the shadows, a tall, hooded silhouette that seemed to shimmer like starlight. The library, once a sanctuary of tranquility, now felt alive with a palpable energy of uncertainty. "Simon," the figure spoke, its voice smooth as silk yet reverberating with unearthly authority. "You have been chosen." The moment hung, heavy in the air, filled with the scent of rain-soaked earth and the distant crackle of thunder. "Chosen for what?" Simon asked, his heart pounding in his chest. The mundane words felt unfamiliar on his tongue, as if he were stepping into a realm he never knew existed. "To uncover the truth of your destiny," the figure replied, raising a hand to reveal an intricate amulet that glowed with an otherworldly light. "The realm of shadows stirs beneath the surface of our world. There are forces at play that seek to upset the balance. You must awaken the courage within and grasp the power that resides in you." Before Simon could respond, the figure flicked. Its wrist and the amulet soared into his hands, warm against his cold skin. He felt a surge of energy coursing through him, igniting his senses and awakening something deep within his soul, an ancient magic waiting to be unleashed. At that moment, thunder rumbled outside, the windows rattling as if affirming the weight of this transformation. In an instant, the figure vanished, leaving only the shimmering amulet in Simon's trembling hands. Confusion swirled within him. Was this a fleeting dream, or the beginning of something extraordinary? The realization crashed upon him like a wave, crashing through the mundane facade of his life. He was no longer just Simon the librarian. He was Simon, the chosen one. As he gripped the amulet tighter, it pulsed rhythmically, syncing with the beating of his heart. He understood then. A journey awaited him, one that would unveil secrets about both the world and himself. But every journey comes with its shadows, and as the library door creaked open, he couldn't shake the feeling that the shadows had awakened too. With resolve igniting his spirit, he stepped forward into the unknown darkness, ready to unravel the mysteries of the realm that beckoned him. Little did he know, the choice to pursue this path would lead him into the depths of a sinister conspiracy, where darkness conspired against the light, and every choice bore significant consequences. And so the first chapter closed, with the promise of realms yet to be discovered and a destiny waiting to unfold. The moment Simon stepped into the encroaching shadows, the library behind him faded like a distant memory, swallowed by the silence of an ever-deepening night. The air thickened, crackling with energy that both invigorated and terrified him. He felt the weight of the amulet in his grasp, its glow illuminating his path with a flickering light. Ahead, twisted vines snaked across cobblestones, choking the old street that unfolded before him. The surroundings shifted, morphing from the familiar to something altogether foreign, a labyrinth where every corner felt alive, whispering secrets of forgotten times. Suddenly, an eerie howl pierced the silence. Simon's heart raced. He wasn't alone. Shadows danced beneath the flickering light of the amulet, twisting into grotesque forms that defied reason. He pressed onward, a sense of urgency spurring him to run, the question burning in his mind. What had he awakened? "Come forth, chosen one," a voice boomed from the shadows, resonating with an authority that chilled Simon to the bone. "Who are you?" he shouted, attempting to steady his voice amidst rising panic. "I am the Harbinger," the figure emerged, wreathed in darkness, yet somehow illuminated by an inner fire. Its eyes glowed with an ethereal light, scanning him like a predator sizing up its prey. "You possess what I seek. Surrender the amulet, and I may yet spare you." Panic threatened to erupt, but Simon stood his ground. "You won't get it. From me." The Harbinger laughed, a low rumbling sound that reverberated through the air, making the very ground beneath Simon tremble. "You are bold but foolish. Power is a tempting elixir, yet it comes at a price." The shadows around the Harbinger shifted, coiling like serpents, inching closer to Simon. "You do not understand the danger you unleash. The more you resist, the stronger we become." With an adrenaline-fueled roar, Simon surged forward, channeling an instinct he never knew he had. The amulet pulsed in time with his heartbeat, and he thrust it toward the Harbinger, unleashing a burst of emerald light that erupted like fireworks against the encroaching darkness. The shadows shrieked, recoiling from the blast, their forms dissipating into wisps of smoke as Simon thrust the amulet forward with all his might. "Leave me be," he shouted, his voice drowning in the wave of energy he unleashed. But the Harbinger stood firm, shielded by an unseen force. "You think you can wield that which you do not understand?" it taunted, its voice a sinister melody. "You are merely a pawn in a game far greater than you can fathom." With a fierce determination rising within him, Simon turned on his heel and plunged deeper into the labyrinth, every instinct telling him to run. Echoes of the Harbinger's laughter surged behind him, filling the air with a foreboding sense of doom. Rounding a corner, Simon stumbled into a dimly lit clearing, faint light filtering through the tangled trees above. There, lying in the center, was a weathered map, inked with symbols that gleamed with the same energy as his amulet. As he approached, rent with awe and trepidation, he noted the same energy as his amulet. As he approached, rent with awe and trepidation, he noticed familiar markings, places he recognized yet knew nothing of. The air crackled once more, and the Harbinger's voice broke through the quiet. "You think you can escape your fate? The map reveals your path, but a storm of shadows will follow. They hunger for what you possess." Suddenly, figures emerged from the darkness behind him, shadows taking shape, looming threats that closed in, their eyes glinting with hunger. They were beings of night, creeping toward him with an insatiable thirst for the amulet's power. With nowhere left to run, Simon grasped the map, heart racing, praying it would provide some indication of escape. It pulsed in his hand, resonating with a rhythm that echoed in his chest, guiding him toward a path beneath the trees. "Follow it," he whispered to himself, fortified by the heat of resolve igniting his spirit. "This is my story now." As he bolted into the underbrush, the shadows surged forward, fierce and relentless. A chase erupted, filled with the clash of life and death, uncertainty and bravery. Simon could feel their icy breath on his neck, the shadows screaming against the night. With each beat of his heart, the map whispered directions, shimmering with possibilities. The glowing map in Simon's hands pulsed with urgency, urging him onward as he fled the shifting shadows that clawed at his back. He could feel the air grow denser, thick with anticipation and ominous whispers of the Harbinger echoing in his mind. The taste of fear was metallic on his tongue, but it was swiftly replaced by something more. For there, a truth simmered just beneath the surface of the fear. A narrow path carved through the trees, the underbrush thinned, and Simon raced along, the sound of his own heartbeat thunderous in his ears. Every instinct screamed at him to keep moving, to escape whatever darkness clawed at his heels. "Why won't you stop?" A chilling voice erupted from the trees, so close that Simon could almost feel its breath. Join us, Simon. Embrace the shadows and you will unlock the true power of the amulet. No, he yelled back, refusing to yield to the seductive call. The amulet flickered in his hand, the light wavering like a candle in the wind, but not extinguished. It's time to put an end to your games. Then unexpectedly the shadows shifted ahead, coiling and twisting until they formed a human figure, one clad in darkness yet echoed Simon's own visage. You think you can resist? It sneered, mirroring his actions with uncanny precision. If you deny your nature, you deny your power. The figure lunged, and in an instinctive reaction, Simon raised the amulet high. A wave of energy surged forth, illuminating the grove with a blinding light. The shadowy counterpart screeched, as if burned, fractals of darkness scattering like ashes in the wind. Face your true self, it yelled, recoiling and consolidating back into the depths of the trees. Gritting his teeth, Simon sprinted forward, the path alive with the pulse of the amulet. It was calling him, guiding him toward a destination he couldn't yet decipher. But, as he pushed through the thicket, he felt it. A familiar sensation gnawing at his resolve as if doubt clawed at the corners of his mind. Do you really think you are any different from me? The shadow taunted, its voice drawing closer. You will succumb, Simon. The darkness is destined to claim you. A destiny forged by fear is no destiny at all, he shouted back, determination flooding his veins, hot and unwavering. I choose my own path. But he felt the pull, a resonance deep within. The same darkness that whispered promises of power danced within him, clawing at the edges of his mind. What was real? What was choice? The line blurred as he plunged deeper into the unknown until he broke through the last line of trees into a vast open clearing, illuminated by a swirling vortex of energy. There, at the center, the harbinger awaited, surrounded by shadows that moved like smoke in the wind. Welcome, chosen one, it cooed, a predatory glint in its eyes. Now you stand at the precipice of your true becoming. Step forth and claim the power that is rightfully yours. Simon hesitated, the maelstrom of doubt threatening to envelop him. You don't own me, he asserted, raising the amulet defiantly before him. I am not a pawn in your game. But your power depends on your acceptance of that which you fear. The harbinger crooned, slowly advancing. What doubt lurks in your heart? Release it, Simon, and you will find power beyond comprehension. If you refuse, darkness will consume you, and your efforts will be for naught. With each step the harbinger took, Simon felt the weight of its presence press against him, the shadows swirling as if trying to pull him into their embrace. An enticing whisper surged through, his thoughts urging him to succumb. He felt the pull of the amulet, a force alive with potential, igniting a spark buried deep within him. In that split second of clarity, Simon realized that the power the harbinger spoke of wasn't about surrendering to darkness. It was about overcoming it. Fear does not define me, he bellowed, gripping the amulet tightly. I choose light. I choose hope. The very ground shook beneath his feet as energy surged through him, illuminating the clearing with brilliant light. The amulet pulsed feverishly in rhythm with his heart, amplifying his determination tenfold. Light blossomed, radiating from him in waves of brilliance, overpowering the shadows encroaching upon him. No, the harbinger screamed, retreating into the growing inferno of light. You cannot extinguish the shadows. They will return. They will come for you. Not if I stand firm, Simon shouted, channeling every ounce of defiance toward the amulet. The light exploded outward, cascading and twisting through the air, engulfing the harbinger and its swarm of shadows in a brilliant vortex of energy. In that dazzling moment, Simon felt the boundaries of himself dissolve, merging into the light, understanding coursing through him like electricity. The darkness was not something to fear, it was a part of him, a component of existence that needed to be embraced, not consumed. It could not devour him if he stood in the light of his truth. As the blinding wave surged forth, it enveloped the harbinger, obliterating the shadows with overwhelming purity. Echoes of its furious cries faded into a whisper, and with one final pulse, the vortex collapsed inward, reclaiming the lingering dark. The clearing transformed into a realm of serene light and calm, fell silent. And in that silence Simon stood, breathless and changed, the amulet now still in his hand, its glow diminished but no less powerful. He had not only vanquished the darkness, he had recognized the balance within himself. Rising from the ashes of fear, he would emerge as a beacon for others, a reminder that shadows only dance when the light is yields. As he turned to leave the clearing, he felt a surge of destiny unfolding before him, a world rich with stories yet to be told, realms waiting to be discovered. He stepped forward, ready to embrace whatever would come next. The shadows had not truly vanished. They were merely subdued, waiting for him to return, but he now held a light fierce enough to navigate even the darkest of paths. The journey was only beginning. The echoes of the night whispered promises of adventure, challenges, and wisdom. Life transformed, where every encounter would redefine him. And as Simon ventured forth, the amulet pulsed gently at his side, a reminder of his choice. A choice to embrace both light and shadow, creating a legacy woven into the very fabric of existence.